Ever wonder why some men command instant respect while others get ignored? The secret isn't money, looks, or status. It's emotional durability. And if you don't have it, you're setting yourself up for failure in life, love, and leadership. Now, stick with me and I'll show you how to fix it. We're going live.
No.
We'll do it live.
This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host, Paul Bauer.
What's going on, everybody? We are back, baby. We are live again. Nurse Chick's in the house. She says, "Good morning, gentlemen. We are back." In fact, we are.
So naughty.
And we're live.
I'm gonna come.
All right. I need to turn the loop off on that. Okay. What's going on, guys? Man, Nurse Chick and I got back home from our voyage on the Jericho cruise. Holy hell, was that so much fun. And more on that in a bit. We're not going to make the whole show about that. Most men don't realize this, but the reason they lose respect, struggle in relationships, and fail as leaders has nothing to do with luck or looks. It's all about emotional durability. If you crack under pressure, get easily rattled, or let emotions dictate your actions, you're handing your power away. So think about that, right? Who gets more respect? The man who keeps his cool when everything goes wrong, or the guy who lashes out, panics, or shuts down? Emotional durability isn't just some feel-good concept. It's the foundation of a dominant masculine presence. Shout out to RP Thor. And without it, you'll always be at the mercy of your emotions, your circumstances, and even the people around you. The good news, emotional durability can be built. The world's strongest men, leaders, warriors, and, quote, high-value men aren't born unshakable, okay? They develop it. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can do the same thing step by step, okay? So if you're tired of feeling out of control, tired of losing respect, and are ready to step into your true masculine strength, stick with me until the end, because by the time we're done, you'll have the tools to stay calm, composed, and dominant in any situation. We are going to be going over chapter 8 in AJ's book, which is all about emotional durability and masculine presence. That's what chapter 8 is about. His book is The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence, Psychology, Emotion. Let me drop a link to that in the chat here. If you guys haven't bought this book by now, we're already up to chapter 8. It would be cool if you did. It'd be cool if you did, man, because it would be good if you followed along with this. AJ's got a lot of really good stuff in this book. Even if he doesn't return my messages on Telegram and Twitter anymore. I don't know what I did to that guy. I don't know if I pissed him off or what, but anyway, we'll see. I don't care. His book's good. Let me guys tell you about the Jericho cruise real quick before we get into the topic today. So it was weird. So Nurse Chick and I went to Miami last week on Wednesday. We flew into Miami, got there late in the evening that night. Stayed in the hotel. The next day we had all day in Miami, and I was like, cool. I've never been to Miami. Like I hear all these cool things. Like Will Smith has a whole song about Miami and how great it is. And so I went to Miami, and like there wasn't anything to do. We're not at the 8-minute mark. Like Nurse Chick and I were like looking at things to do. One thing, Nurse Chick's never been to a Waffle House. Like what? Like okay, so. Took Nurse Chick to a Waffle House, and you know what happens in a Waffle House parking lot, boys. Anyway, took Nurse Chick to a Waffle House, and then in the nearest Waffle House to our hotel was like 30 minutes away. Like nothing's close. Like Cappy texted me, he goes, "Hey, you're in Florida? You got to go to Buc-ee's." And I'm like, "Oh yeah." Like look at where the nearest Buc-ee's is. The nearest Buc-ee's is 200 miles away from Miami, and so I was like, "Shouldn't Cappy know this?" I mean, he goes to Miami frequently, and he hangs out with the Fresh and Fit guys, you know. So I was like, Cappy, the nearest Buc-ee's is 200 miles away. And he goes, oh, you must be in the crappy part of Florida. Apparently, because there's no Buc-ee's in Miami. And so then Nurse Chick and I were looking for things to do, and like everything to do is in like downtown. And so we went down to see their Walk of Fame, and like there's like a sort of a pier area where all the tourists go. It's very much like, if you've ever been to San Diego, it's very much like Seaport Village, in San Diego, just tourist area. So we went down there, hung out at the shops, did some day drinking. We had some crab rolls. Never had any crab rolls before. That was pretty good. Introduced Nurse Chick to empanadas, that sort of thing. But that lasted about an hour, and we were done. we were done. Then we were looking for other things to do, and everything like on Google was like, oh, there's this museum, this museum, this museum. We ended up going to the Paradox Museum, which was kind of interesting. And then we went to the Museum of Sex. The Museums of Sex is weird. It's very weird. If you guys saw my bounce house video, I can't say, we're not at the 8-minute mark, or where I'm bouncing and there's breasts in the bounce house. That was at the Museum of Sex there in Miami. That was it. And then otherwise, I think there's like, there's a whole bunch of nightclubs and stuff like that. But I don't like going to nightclubs. So anyway, not a whole lot to do in Miami. I was very disappointed in that place. Like, yeah, Miami Beach maybe, but I wasn't there to go to the beach, and we were going to go on the Jericho cruise anyway the next day. The cruise was friggin' awesome though. Oh my God, the cruise is awesome. You spend every day literally hanging out with professional wrestlers from like WWE, AEW, TNA. They're there living with you for the whole week. So like you go to the buffet, and Lance Archer's big ass is right there asking people where the yogurt is, and that was just really cool. There was rock concerts every day. There was wrestling every day. Downstate, the band Downstate, they sing the theme song for The Miz, for Cody Rhodes, for Matt Cardona, and for Dolph Ziggler. Well, Nick Nemeth now. And so like their show was phenomenal. We went to Porta Plaza, which is in the Dominican Republic, and Nurse Chick and I went ziplining through the jungle. So we had to go hiking for 45 minutes through the jungle, and then we ziplined. There was 5 zip lines we had to go through. And then at the end, we got down to a river bed and we swam in waterfalls and stuff like that. There was one place where it was like a 14-foot high ledge, and we got up to it and had to jump down into a water hole. Awesome. Super awesome. And the cool thing is that as we're driving out to the place, it's called Damiagua. As we're driving out to Damiagua in this truck, we're in the truck with Brian Cage, with Elias. If you guys know anybody or any of these names from wrestling, Brian Cage, Elias, the Grizzled Young Veterans, they're all on the thing with us. There was another guy, Nuka, EJ Nuka, I think, a big, huge black dude. He's in AEW right now. They're all on the tour with us, right? Big Bill and Enzo reunited. If you guys know who Big Cass and Enzo Amore are, Big Cass goes by Big Bill now in AEW, and Enzo was there for like the last part of the ship. I was losing my mind, dude. Like they did their whole like, I'm a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. I was just like, I was losing my mind doing that shit. Nurse Chick was cracking up at me because she doesn't even know who these guys are. She's only been introduced. I only introduced her to wrestling 4 years ago when we first met. And Enzo Amore and Kaz were already like fired from WWE by that point. So she didn't even get a chance to see the magic of those guys. And then my new favorite tag team is a group called the Outrunners. Like these guys are hilarious. The Outrunners are a tag team who their whole gimmick is that they're like wrestlers from the 80s. And so they have like the pink outfits. They have like the Hulk Hogan hair. They do like the muscle handshake, for Predator and shit. And the thing is about those guys is they live their gimmick. Like as you're walking around the ship, like the regular wrestlers are just normal people. Some of them are bigger than others, but they're just normal people. Like I was in the gym Monday I'm working out with like Al Snow. I'm working out with Frankie Kazarian. I'm working out with Elias. Like all these guys are in the gym with me and we're all just working out. Right. And then I'm like, this is the craziest day of my life. I'm pretty sure I saw Bandito without his mask on. I'm like 99% sure that was Bandito running on the treadmill. I have no evidence of that because I don't know what his face looks like, but he's the only like jacked ass Mexican there with long hair in the gym. Anyway, like those guys are normal guys, right? Like I'm walking to the gym, like Al walks in, I'm like doing, dumbbell flies. And I look up, I'm like wiping down stuff, and Al Snow walks in. I'm like, oh, good morning, Al. And he's like, good morning. How's things going? And then he gets down and starts doing dive bomber push-ups and stuff, right? Well, normal guys. The outrunners literally walk around the ship in their gimmicks, right? They walk around dressed like guys from like the late 80s, early 90s with parachute pants on. It's hilarious. Anyway. All right, enough about that. We're going to get back on topic, guys. If you guys love wrestling, you guys have to do the next Jericho Cruise. They're going to do the next one next year in November, but you guys have to do it. It's an experience. There's people that have done it every year. I don't understand that philosophy. But I would do another one. I'm just like, I can't do it every year. That doesn't make any sense to me. But all right, guys, do be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday without fail. Even when I was gone this last week or so, I had new episodes. Okay, there were new episodes on Monday and Wednesday, and last week on Wednesday and Friday. If you guys are watching live right now, drop a comment. Okay, favorite emoji, doesn't really matter. Ask questions, but if you have questions, do consider sending them as a super chat if you are getting value out of this information. All right, let's get into the topic today. So again, we're going over chapter 8 in Psychology Paradigm by AJ, and I'm not going to read it to you because I want you to get the book. I already dropped a link in the chat, but we're going to go over the concept. So the first concept is emotional durability as the foundation of a masculine presence. So if you get Thor's book, A Dominant Masculine Presence, having that emotional durability, it's sort of the foundation for all of that kind of stuff, right? It's part of your frame. If you ever read that bastard Ryan Stone's book, speaking of that bastard Ryan Stone, I ran into an old article from Ryan. Let's see here. Last night, and let me see if I can find it here, because I want to point this out, because I talk about this stuff a lot. And he basically shit all over it. Here we go. So I talk a lot about leadership, and that's what we're talking about today, is like emotional durability as in a masculine presence, but we also talk about it as a part of leadership and how you have to be the leader and you need to set the tone in your relationship, right? Well, Ryan has this article from 2021 that says, if you're not fucking, shut up about leadership. And he says, basically, he goes, leadership in a nutshell is the wife or girlfriend deferring to the husband or boyfriend. If she has no desire to defer, then any attempt to lead looks no different than one of your kids trying to bark orders. Looks pretty silly, doesn't it? So ask yourself, which of these relationships will last? A relationship that the husband wants to save, or the wife can't, a relationship that the husband wants to save and the wife can't stand, or the one with a fully invested wife and a husband who is ambivalent to it. So basically he's like, don't care about the relationship and like make her want to invest. And he also says, it's not your relationship to save, it's hers. You cannot negotiate desire, right? Because he goes, it's as old as the red pill, Breitbart's law. In any species, the female dictates the terms of the relationship. When there is no benefit, there is no relationship. As a corollary, any negotiation becomes null and void the minute she gets her side of the bargain. This has two main models that guys would do well to internalize, right? It's not your relationship to save, it's hers. You cannot negotiate desire. Okay. But then he also says, be attractive, don't be unattractive. Well, a part of being attractive and not being unattractive is setting the tone and leading, right? Not being unattractive is setting the tone and leading. So at what point do we start fucking leading here, Ryan? All right. Anyway. Ryan doesn't tune into this shit. Well, sometimes he does, but anyway, I'm confused by that. I'd love to have a conversation with Ryan about that sometime. offline. We don't have to debate it. I need to understand where he's coming from. And he's the world's best red pill couch, and he could help me understand that better. All right. Emotional durability. Emotional durability is not the absence of emotions, but the ability to manage them effectively. I agree with that, right? We're not robots. We have emotions, right? So it's not about being like not having emotions, being stoic all the time and being a zombie. Like that's not going to happen. You're going to have emotions. You're going to be up in your feels, right? But how do you handle it in the moment? Right? Do you like blast your girl? Do you just, because that's reacting from emotion. That's your emotions controlling you, not the other way around. Right? But if you do like the 3-second rule and you take a deep breath before responding, like she might see that you're upset, but then if you reply in a very calm demeanor, that's emotional control, right? Like you're still mad, but you're controlling how you respond, right? A man's composure in the face of emotional upheaval strengthens his masculine presence, right? Remaining calm in high pressure situations builds trust and respect from others. I mean, think about that, right? If you're on a ship, if you're on the Jericho cruise and there's a fire on the ship, the captain says you have to evacuate, and you're panicking in the moment. Like, do you think your wife is going to listen to your directions as you're trying to get her off the ship, right? Because we got to get the women and children off so that men can actually formulate a plan in silence, right? Anyway, is she going to respond to your leadership of like, hey, honey, we need to get out of here right now, right? Is she going to respond to that if you're freaking out, going, I don't know what to do? Oh my God, like there's a fire on the ship. What are we going to do? Like, no. She's going to go, oh crap, my man can't lead. My vagina's so dry right now. That's how that's going to go. All right. Psychology, strength, and emotional resilience. So psychological strength is built by consistently overcoming emotional challenges. This is one of the things that AJ talks about a lot in the book, right? The difference between resilience and durability. Like durability comes after you've practiced emotional resilience over time, so much to the point that now it's just habit. It's just how you deal with stress. It's how you deal with bad situations. Like you're cool. You can handle it, right? That's durability. And a strong mindset helps navigate stress and adversity with confidence. You know, a part of building up that mindset, that strong mindset, is stuff like I talk about. Aaron Clary shits on it. Man, I love my friends on Rule Zero. They shit on all the stuff that I talk about. One of the things I really think is beneficial to men is the concept of affirmations, right? The more you tell yourself, I can handle it. I can do this, right? I can do anything. I talk about that in my book, Psychology Paradigm. You know, the black belt rules from Mr. Bodie is let's see, here we go. Or the leadership rules, right? I always think positive. I never quit. I always keep trying, and I can do anything. Those are the leadership rules. If those are mantras, right? Those are affirmations. If you say that stuff over and over enough, when you have a bad situation to deal with, that's going to come to your mind. I can do this. I can do anything, right? Like the more you tell yourself this stuff, the more it bubbles up when you need it. You know what I mean? So it's not woo-woo bullshit, Clary. It'll actually reprogram your subconscious mind to have more of a can-do attitude, you know? And then resilience enables a man to maintain focus and clarity under pressure, right? So the more you're able to get through stressful situations, the more you're like, I know I can do this because I've done it before, that kind of thing. You're going to have more clarity under pressure. You're going to panic less. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to take that deep breath and be like, all right, let's do this. You know, you're going to be like Nicolas Cage in Gone in 60 Seconds, where you're like, all right, let's ride, you know, like that. You're going to be that guy. You're going to be that guy. All right, guys, follow me on social media. The links are in the description. I'm on all the good platforms. Get on the email list if you're not already. List.comeonmanpod.com and get the ebook, She's Made You Weak. It talks about the betaization process and how women lose attraction over time. And then if you really want to deep dive into that book, get my latest book, Get Her to Fuck You Again. We're talking about AJ's book today, Psychology Emotion, though. And I, too, have a book in the Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence series, Psychology Paradigm. If you guys didn't know about that, you guys might want to check it out because it's the first book in the series and it lays the foundation for all the other books in the series. So get my book. I would play a commercial for AJ's book, but he hasn't made one yet. So AJ, if you're tuning into this, make a commercial and get it to me and I'll start playing it for you. But since we don't have one for AJ's book, I'll play a commercial for my book. And you can get all my books at books.comeonmanpod.com. Have you ever felt like something's holding you back in your relationships? Like you're always on the back foot, struggling to connect with women? You're not alone. Many men are taught to be weak, to defer, to play small around women by their upbringing, by society, by the very world that shaped them. But what if you could break free from the invisible chains that have held you back? What if you could rewrite the script, reprogram the paradigm that's been running your life? This is your chance to step into the man you were always meant to be. In The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence, Psychology Paradigm by Paul Bauer, the first book in R.P. Thor's groundbreaking series, you'll learn how to understand and transform the paradigms that have shaped your life. You'll discover how to develop a dominant masculine presence, one that commands respect, inspires trust, and brings fulfillment to your relationships. Don't wait for life to change on its own. Take control. Order your copy of The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence, Psychology Paradigm now on Amazon. Available in hardcover, paperback, or on Kindle. This is more than a book. It's your roadmap to a life of purpose, strength, and success. Make the decision today. Reprogram your life and step into the man you were meant to be. Yes, do that. Let's turn this off here. Where we go? Oop, there we go. We got some people in the chat. So let's see. We've got Phil's in the house. He says, hoorah, hoorah, double dog. CW says, what's good, gents and nurse chick? Mike Steele, good morning, Vietnam. Hey, good to see you, Mike. Good to see you, man. Alex Patino, what's up? What's up, man? Dorothy Heaslip says Coral Gables. What's at Coral Gables? What's at Coral Gables? I'm assuming you're talking about Miami. And then Mike says Brickell is awesome. What's Brickell? Like, educate me. And then Alex says Museum of Sex. Could it be any worse than the museum that had chastity belts in Nuremberg, Germany? This museum didn't have anything like that. It was all about, sexual expression. So instead of chastity belts, it had like dildos going back to like the 1820s and shit. It was weird, man. It was weird. We walked into this room. So they had this area called like the Happy Fun Time place, or I can't remember what it was. Anyway, we walk in and you go in and there's like this fake garden where like they have these like fake floral arrangements shaped like penises and vaginas. And then you walk through this curtain and there's these two giant feet, right? And then you look and it goes up, you look up, there's legs, right? Two giant legs. You look up, there's a giant vagina above your head. And it's like a woman just standing there like, you're like, what the hell is this? And then off to your left, they have these fake bathroom stalls and with toilets in them, right? And then all this like dirty graffiti and stuff. And then in each of the bathroom stalls, there's holes in them because, they're supposed to be glory holes. And then in between stalls, they have clown feet, right? And then it's supposed to be a game where you go and you sit down and they put fake dicks in there and you're supposed to jerk them off or something stupid. And I just remember like looking at that going, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this place, right? And as I'm sitting there looking at this in shock, this guy walks up who works there. He goes, hey guys, you guys want to jerk off some dicks? Like it's no big deal. Like it's an average question just to ask somebody. And I'm like, no, bro, I'm good. I'm good, man. Such a weird place, man. But yeah, they also had we're well past the 8-minute mark. They had a giant titty bounce house with like boobs everywhere, and then like giant women with like their breasts out. It was fucking hilarious. I was like, oh, we're getting on this, nurse chick. And they also had like a pole dancing area, and so I said, nurse chick, go do the thing, go do the thing. So I made nurse chick dance on a pole. It was good. Good times, guys. All right. Okay, so Brickell is the trendy downtown district in Miami where all the restaurants and clubs are. Okay. All right. I see. What? No Roman dildos made of marble? Nah, they didn't go back that far. All right, guys, back on topic here. The next concept is commanding respect through emotional stability. So respect is earned through consistency in handling emotions and challenges, right? You can't demand respect. Respect is earned, and you'll find that if you go through a challenging situation and you keep your calm, like people respect you better. Like it's just human nature, right? People gravitate towards men who exhibit reliability and emotional control. That's why if you can handle pressure, if you can handle crises, like people want to work for you. Like you'll have the closest thing you can have to job security if you, especially if you work in a high stress environment, if you can keep your calm and cool during a crisis. If you keep your head and solve problems, people want to keep you on board. Like when the annual chopping block comes for downsizing or whatever, like they typically keep the guys that can keep their cool under pressure and can solve problems, right? And then emotional steadiness in disagreements or conflicts fosters admiration and trust. It's one of the reasons why I've adopted Paul Benjamin's Luca model when I talk about communication techniques. It's because it's like one of the best models to maintain your cool under pressure during challenging situations. And if you can maintain that and just focus on Luca and not Deering, right? Always like never Deer, always Luca. You could focus on that sort of thing during an argument. You never really get into an argument. You never really get into a disagreement, and being able to lead that conversation down a healthy path actually gets your wife respecting you more. You know what I mean? Like if you're just losing your shit all the time and getting in your emotions and climbing on her emotional roller coaster, she loses respect for you because you're acting like a woman, right? Erkin says, what is Luca? Listen, understand, clarity, action. I talk about it and get her to fuck you again. Yeah. Erkin also asks, is wrestling something big in the US? It's pretty big. I mean, WWE has millions of followers. AEW has millions of followers. We also have TNA as a big promotion here. Ring of Honor, which is a part of AEW, they're a big promotion out here. There's lots of independent promotions everywhere, but it really is like a niche fan base, and there's a lot of weirdos. There's a lot of like fat ham and eggers that follow wrestling and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. Like the group of people that follow wrestling, and I'm like, when I go there, like when Nurse Chick and I go out to Utah, cause there's a promotion out in Salt Lake City called Devotion Championship Wrestling. And I'm friends with the promoter out there. We go out there, like, man, some of those people just don't shower. It's like, it fucking reeks, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, don't these people have any dignity? Wash your ass. Oh man, I saw this big bastard. So on the ship, they have a spa where you can go get massaged and stuff like that. That costs extra. So I didn't do that, but I just remember seeing this big dude. This guy must've been like 400 pounds, all fat, walking into the massage area. And I'm like, imagine being the masseuse that has to massage that big bastard. Like, Jesus Christ, wrestling fans. Anyway, leadership and influence rooted in emotional durability. So leaders who remain composed during crisis inspire confidence in their teams. Emotional resilience enhances leaders' ability to make rational decisions, and a man's influence grows when he can handle pressure without reacting emotionally, right? People trust you, they'll hand you the the keys to the kingdom, you know, if they know that you'll get shit done and you can handle things during a crisis, right? Guys, smash that like button. It's alpha. It's alpha to smash that like button. Guys, if you haven't done so, you guys should consider joining my beer club. Go to beer.comeonmanpod.com. It's a good group of guys. They're all studying this stuff. We just got a new guy in there. Bless his heart. He joined 2 days ago. And he was like, yeah, you know, I just kept hearing all these stories about guys like, you know, losing weight. Guys like Brother David. Brother David's lost a fuck ton of weight. He cured himself of type 2 diabetes. We have Brother Omega in there. I think his A1C levels have been pretty healthy since he's gotten in the group and lost all the weight. We have Shreddy Eddie, the legendary Shreddy Eddie. We got Brother Nathan in there. Brother Nathan's one of my OG 3% brothers. Brother Kamal's in there. Like, we're all we have a fitness accountability group. That's a subgroup of Beer Club. If you join Beer Club, we'll add you to the fitness accountability group. Anyway, this guy is like, I need to work on that. So that's why I joined Beer Club. And we're like, cool, let's put you in the fitness accountability group. And, which is pretty simple. Like, we just post our workouts in there. And basically, if we see that you haven't been posting your workouts, we're like, hey, where the fuck you at, man? Right? But we all are posting our workouts basically as, do as like, you know, one of those things like leading by example, right? We're leading by example. So we all post our workouts in there. Anyway, the new guy in there, he's like, I did some lateral arm raises today, you know? And I was like, good, you know, that's better than the guy sitting on the couch, but do you have like a routine? Do you have a fitness routine? And he's like, oh no, not really. I'm like, okay, well, what are your goals? You know? And he's like, oh, I want to keep the muscle I have and lose the weight, you know? Okay, cool. How many days a week can you commit to working out? And he's like, I could try to work out 3 days a week most of the time. Right. And I said, okay, well, first of all, you need to make that all the time. Like, this needs to be a habit. So whatever you pick, like, it could be 3 days a week, it could be 4 days a week, it could be 5 days a week, it could be 7 days a week if you want to burn yourself out. But you know, Jack Napier made a really good point to me after he reviewed my basic diet and fitness mini course. He's like, yeah, for noobs, he recommends having them commit to 3 days a week, right? So like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday type regimen. And so that's what I told the guy. And so I said, well, do you have a gym membership? Or do you work out with equipment at home? Right. And he's like, oh, I have a gym membership. Okay, cool. Fucking dropped on ChatGPT real quick. I said, give me a 3-day workout plan, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for a guy who wants these goals, right? Keep the exercises to 40, you know, the session to 40 to 45 minutes. Bam. ChatGPT spit out a whole exercise routine for this guy in like 2 seconds. I copied and pasted. I was like, here, do this for the next month and then reevaluate. Right. But you know, like, we're all there to help each other out, especially if you're a new guy, if you've never worked out before. I mean, if you've never worked out before, definitely take my basic diet and fitness mini course. If you go to fit.comeonmanpod.com, you can check that out. But at least get into Beer Club. Get in Beer Club and get in the routine of working out regularly and tracking your progress. And you'll find that you're going to start seeing results. You know, you'll start seeing results. Okay. But it starts with you, and you got to start developing that discipline. Okay. And we can help you with that. Get in the group. And then, guys, if you are having problems in your relationship and you need to turn things around, like, let's say you're married and, man, things have just been going downhill. You guys aren't fucking anymore. If you guys are fucking, it's like once a month if you're lucky. Or guess what? Valentine's Day is coming up, and that's your one day a year where she gives you the old blowy Joey, and then the rest of the year she's got a headache, right? That's not normal. And a lot of wives will gaslight you into thinking that's normal. You know, sex sort of dwindles over time. That's not true. That's not true. Attraction dwindles over time if you let it, and then that attraction fading causes her to not want to fuck you anymore, right? We can fix that. We can turn that around. Let's book a call with me. Go to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com. Okay. Let's turn that around, or get my new book, Get Her to Fuck You Again, and then book a call with me. Okay. All right. Back on topic, back to AJ's book. We've been talking about psychology, emotion. So that's what we're on. So the next concept is the role of self-discipline in emotional durability. So self-discipline helps regulate emotional responses and maintain a strong presence. Man, discipline is so important, right? Going back to Beer Club Brother, where he was like, I can work out 3 days a week most of the time. I was like, you need to develop that discipline. That discipline is greater than motivation, because motivation's a feeling, right? It's a fleeting. It comes and goes, but discipline means you do it no matter what, right? Like Nurse Chick and I we went on the Jericho cruise, and I work out Monday through Friday no matter what, right? I at least do something. So I had a big travel day last week on Wednesday, so I couldn't do all my normal stuff, and so I at least went for a run. So I got up early that morning and went for my run, and got in a 45-minute run before we spent all day, on planes and going to airports and stuff like that. But I work out Monday through Friday no matter what, and if for whatever reason I can't work out on a specific day, I'll make it up on the weekend, right? But that's a promise I made myself years ago. So even if I'm sick with COVID, if I can get up and if I'm feeling like, okay, I can go out, I'll bundle up and I'll go out and do my run. I might run slower than normal, but I'm at least going to do something. I'm going to try to do my best because I'm fucking disciplined. I do it because I have to, not because I feel like it, right? So that self-discipline helps regulate emotional responses as well. Okay, you got to get really disciplined in being the one that's in control of your emotions and not letting your emotions control you. And controlling those emotions ensures decisions are made logically rather than impulsively, right? You're really trying to respond as opposed to react, right? A disciplined mindset reinforces psychological resilience and long-term consistency. The next concept is standing firm in one's principles under pressure. This is big, man. This is sort of like this is all part of frame and stuff too. You'll find that you have certain values and principles, and women will test to see if they can manipulate you into sort of like breaking your own rules kind of thing, right? And if they can, if you are have a very I don't know, strict view on something, and she's able to manipulate you into changing your viewpoint on it or to doing whatever she wants, even though you don't want to do it, that kind of thing, she loses respect for you. And so Nuclear Caudillo says it very well. Women don't want to win. Okay. So the moment you let her manipulate you into doing something you didn't want to do, that's when she loses respect for you. So it's very important to be able to hold your ground on this kind of stuff, right? Standing firm in your principles under pressure. And women provide a lot of pressure with their manipulation tactics. And women will be like, what? We don't manipulate. Bullshit. Women invented manipulation. So emotional durability allows a man to uphold his values despite external opposition, right? You're feeling the pressure, but you're able to tell people no. I was on the ship, right? This one guy, he must have been on the spectrum, right? This one guy had this pink fucking cowboy hat, just overweight ham and egger guy. And we had to buy these extra wristbands for concessions. Like when you're out watching wrestling or the concerts and stuff like that, you buy a wristband, and then when the concessions come around, you pull off a tab from your wristband and you trade it for concessions, right? So the first night we do that, they're walking around, and basically I was on a fuck it diet, where I was just like fuck it this whole week, and so I was just eating whatever I wanted on the trip. I'm paying for it now, but the concession guy comes around. I'm like, oh, I haven't had Doritos in months. So I pulled off my tab and exchanged it for a big bag of Doritos. I open it up and I start eating it. This fat guy comes over and he goes, hey, can I have some of those chips? And I was like, what? What? And he goes, may I have some of your chips? And I go, no, right? fuck you. Like I paid extra for this fucking concession band, right? I didn't go off on him on that. I just told him, like, I looked at him like literally like this. I went, no. That's my standing firm on my principles, motherfucker. Anyway, but the thing is like, the funny thing is that when the guy just walks up and asks for that, like my knee-jerk reaction, being a nice guy, is to go, oh yeah, sure, have some of my chips, right? But I was like, no. I don't know. I thought it was funny. The rest of the time, Nurse Chick kept like pointing out the guy every time she saw him. She goes, hey, there's your buddy over there. I'm like, fuck that guy. Anyway. A strong sense of conviction signals reliability and authority. Men who do not waver under stress are seen as natural leaders. That's a recurring theme in this chapter. Emotional durability in personal relationships. Okay, this is huge. This is huge if you want to get your wife to fuck you again. Emotional durability in personal relationships. A man's emotional stability reassures his family, friends, and his, girls, right? His wives or his girlfriends. Okay. Think about that. Like, it's one of the things I learned from Dr. Robert Glover's book. Women are like the wind, like their emotions, they have them on this emotional roller coaster and they don't want you climbing on board. They need to know that someone has their feet on the ground. That's you. That's your job as a man. Right. So the more you can do that, the more you can stay calm and cool under pressure and not let things rattle you, not let whatever she says piss you off, all that kind of stuff. It actually reassures her. It gives her stability. Women are security seeking creatures, right? So being able to handle conflict with composure actually strengthens the trust in the relationship and deepens that connection. It makes her feel more safe and secure, right? A lot of people, when we talk about women are security-seeking creatures, they immediately go to money. That means money. Like, they're talking about financial security. No, it's like emotional security, right? If you can be the calm one under pressure, it gives her that emotional feeling of security, right? Are you guys getting a lot of YouTube and commercials? Well, I'll tell you what, Alex, I don't get a lot of super chats on my channel, so I have to put a lot of fucking commercials on, right? If more people would send super chats during these episodes, I would probably put on less commercials, or I'd even go live without commercials and put them on later. But a lot of you guys are real stingy with those super chats, so commercials it is. All right. The next concept here is the connection between emotional control and decision making. Leaders and high value men do not let emotions cloud their judgment. I had a guy, I think it was a MGTOW guy, comment on one of my videos, and there's this. They don't like guys using the term high value man, and they think that people who use the term high value man are the guys that are just out there selling books and courses and stuff like that. It's like, it is kind of a dumb term. It's a very subjective term, high value man. A woman that works at Starbucks and she's dating a guy who's, I don't know, she's dating the manager at Starbucks. She might, to her, perceive him as the high value man because he's like in a leadership position, right? It's like a status thing. It's contextual. It's kind of like a contextual alpha type thing, right? It's, one woman might see this guy as high value and another woman might not see this guy as high value. It's all subjective. So I get what they're saying with that. That's why I like to say high value man with quotes. But leaders and high value men, they don't let their emotions cloud their judgment. Remaining level-headed under stress results in better strategic planning. I mean, think about that, right? Have you ever made a good decision when you're like up in your feels? Have you ever made a good decision when you're up in your feels and you're mad? That's why like fights break out in bars, is because guys are up in their feels, And yes, anger is a feel. It's a feeling, right? It's an emotion, and guys will let that get the best of them because, they're they're not in control of their emotions are in control of them. Think of I was thinking about this the other day. It was like think of Back to the Future and Marty McFly, Back to the Future 2 especially, where people like he didn't like people calling him a chicken, right? Nobody calls me chicken, right? And then he does dumbass shit because he's in his emotions about it. Until at the end of the movie when he learns that he doesn't have to, like, who cares what other people think? And then he changes his whole future, right? Anyway, think about that. Being more level-headed, it results in better strategic planning or better decision making in general. And emotionally durable men excel in professional and personal decision making, which makes sense because they're operating from a place of rationality as opposed to emotion, right? Hey, there we go. CW. Hey, you don't want the $30 super chat? CW says, well, you asked for it, so here you go, Paul. Glad you and Nurse Chick had a great time on the cruise. Love the storytelling. You get this one because he's a Beer Club brother. So Beer Club brothers automatically get bumped up to the next one. You guys get the bouncing boobs video for that one.
Thank you for the super chats. Boobies bouncing, can't stop that. From the east to the west, you are the best. Keep those chats coming in to feel it all again.
God bless their hearts. The next concept here is historical and modern examples of emotional durability. We talked about a couple of these guys in previous episodes because AJ's talked about these same guys in other chapters. But Winston Churchill, he displayed emotional resilience during World War II, rallying his nation. Right? You have Elon Musk. Elon Musk remains composed under pressure. He drives innovation through uncertainty. He's heading the Doge program right now, which is fascinating. Have you guys been following Doge on Twitter and like all the crap that they're finding our government are spending money on? It's outrageous. The stupid shit that we're spending money on as taxpayers. I saw one the other day where there was some kind of fund for like it was oh God, what was it? It was something about ice cubes and like ice cubes being all the same size or some stupid thing, like government funding operation. I'm wondering like how much of that kind of shit is like funding black ops and they just call it that. Like, they have one that studying the shapes of clouds. What? Like you're spending millions of dollars on the studying of the shapes of clouds? Like stop it. Stop it. I also think Elon Musk remains composed under pressure too, because he is on the spectrum. He's kind of an emotionless robot. So that's kind of a superpower. Now he talks about different guys in the space. He talks about RP Thor. I would agree that RP Thor definitely shows examples of emotional durability. I mean, he is going through the fight of his life with this cancer stuff. And when I talk to him, he's not feeling good, but he's trying to stay positive. He's really absolutely trying to stay positive and focusing on already being healed. And it's just inspiring to watch Thor fight this thing. And then he talks about Rollo Tomassi as being someone who's emotionally durable or has good emotional control in the space. And I love Rollo, but Rollo does tend to let people rattle him a lot. He ends up getting into like internet fights and he could probably practice that a little bit more. I'm not shitting on Rollo. I'm not running him up with a flagpole. I love that man. His fucking, his Rational Male books are phenomenal. I can't really talk a lot of shit about Rollo, but that is one thing that I think Rollo could probably work on, as we could all work on that, right? None of us are perfect, right? None of us are perfect, but something to think about. Anyway, the last concept here is practical strategies to build emotional durability. So one of the things that AJ recommends as a daily practice to help develop some of this stuff, okay? Because it's not going to happen overnight. It does. You can't take 20, 30, 40 years of programming and undo it overnight by reading one book, right? You have to do some of these tasks. You have to be repetitive with some of these tasks so that it sticks, so it becomes a habit, right? So he recommends daily self-reflection and mindfulness because that helps strengthen emotional control, right? We talk about journaling a lot in the space. Ryan Stone talks about it as field reports, like writing out field reports. That's a form of journaling, right? Just thinking about your day and like how you handled it and how you could do better. Like if you actually sit down and like do that, what tends to happen is you become more aware of it, right? You become more aware of it in the moment when you know at the end of the day, you got to sit down and journal about it. Okay. Well, that awareness is key to changing things, because once you're aware of something, now it's a choice whether you do that or not. That's how you catch yourself in the moment and you go, oh, I'm not responding correctly, right? I'm not responding with emotional durability. Let me change that. Let me change this around. Like, and it's going to take, you're going to fuck up. You're going to suck at first, right? You've got to like be okay with it, not beat yourself up so bad about it, and just catch yourself and go, okay, I'm going to do better next time. And even in the moment, like if you find yourself like lashing out at your wife or your girlfriend because you haven't worked on this stuff yet, but you're trying to work on it, and you catch yourself in the moment, it's okay to be like, you know what? Clearly I'm in my emotions right now. Like, give me like 15 minutes to calm down. Right. Let me go cool off. I'm going to go walk around the block. I'm going to come back. I'm going to talk to you like an adult. And then you can come back at it with some Luca, right? She's going to notice that you're putting some work in, that you're actively trying, right, to have some of this emotional control. Okay. She's going to respect that. At first, she's going to be like, what is going on? You know, like, I want to fight this out. And you're like, no, no, I'm not going to say things I regret. You know, I'm already up in my feels right now. Like, it's okay to like stop yourself in the moment, let her know in the moment, like I need to go calm down, you know, and just be like, I'll be back. I'll talk to you in a minute. Right. Go away. It's okay to do that kind of shit. That's how you get better, right? The more you do that kind of stuff, the more you catch yourself in the moment doing that stuff, the less you have to do that kind of thing. Because the more it now becomes habit where you just don't let yourself get to that place, right? Physical training reinforces mental toughness and emotional resilience. That's one of the reasons why we say hit the gym. You know, that a lot of guys don't realize that. But yeah, you're working on your muscles, right, and your fitness and your overall health, but that really helps your mental strength as well. It's really good for your mindset when you go and hit the gym and you become disciplined with that. Definitely. And then overcoming small setbacks builds the foundation for handling larger challenges, right? The more adversity that you go through, right, the more you realize I can handle this, right? And then the bigger the challenge, you can look back and go, I handled all this before, I can handle this, right? So that kind of stuff, those small setbacks, if you look at it, if you reframe it like it's an opportunity to do better or to like overcome another challenge or whatever, you look at it like a learning opportunity, whatever positive you can spin it as will help you get through that kind of stuff. All right. Alex Patino sent a $10 super chat, 1 beer contribution. Oh, hey, thanks, brother. Alex is not in beer club though, but so he doesn't get bumped up to the $20 super chat, but he does get the titties.
Thank you for the super chats. Boobies bouncing, can't stop that. From the east to the west, you are the best. Keep those chats coming in to fill it all again.
All right. And then John sent a $20 super chat. You guys asked for you guys asked for the CW's going to be fucking mad now. He goes, I haven't watched it live in a long time. Podcasts are king. I know you really do want to see it, CW. Yeah. Well, so what he's talking about is he's a beer club brother. So he gets bumped up to the $30 super chat with this. And this is what you get for you fucking dirty birdies. You fucking weirdos. Okay.
Ladies rocking sandals, got them smiling all the while. Painted toes and heels, they make me super chat on my screen. You keep the party rolling, you know what I mean. Thank you for supporting, keeping it real neat. We vibing together from our heads to our feet.
You dirty sons of bitches. You know what's funny? So Brad Williams, I don't know if you guys know who Brad Williams is. He's a little person, right? He's a dwarf stand-up comic, and he's hilarious. Well, he's on the cruise. He was on the Jericho cruise, and one of his bits was that he was saying how he's like, someone asked him if any woman, any tall women have ever fucked him just to fulfill a fetish fantasy. And he goes, oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. And they're like, were you mad about that? And he goes, oh, hell no. No. And he starts talking about fetishes. And he goes, I can't understand guys who are into feet. And he goes, I wish I was into feet because I'm so short. Like if I was into feet, I'd just run by being like, and you just see this midget guy going across the stage like that, he's like, I'd be tickling all of you. Anyway, it was fucking funny in the moment. I don't do it justice because I'm not a little person, but all right, guys, that's all I got. Get AJ's book. That was chapter 8. We were talking about psychology, emotion. Hopefully you guys got some value out of that. And thank you for the super chats. I appreciate it. Tune into Rule Zero tomorrow. I believe Nuke is hosting, and we're going to be talking because Valentine's Day is coming up, and he's going to be talking about being a Skittles man, right? Being a Skittles man is a classic sort of red pill post. And if I recall it correctly, it was about how these women all got together and they were describing how great this man was that they were dating. And it turned out that they were all dating the same man because he would just offer them Skittles. Right. But they were always like blowing off guys that were doing all this really fancy shit for them and whatever. But the guy that was giving them Skittles, they were all letting him hit. Right. So that's the concept of less is more. You don't have to try that hard if chicks are really into you. Try and teach my son this. Tune into Dragon Ship after. I think Laurent and Vidar are hosting. I'm not sure what the topic is. Tune into the podcast on Monday. I found a really interesting article in the Red Pill Archived on Married Man Game by a guy going by the name of Dun Dread Pirates. Now be warned, some of the stuff might actually blow up your marriage. It might actually fuck things up. I don't necessarily advocate for some of this stuff, but you gotta make choices in life. We'll talk about if it's a good idea or not. So tune into that on Monday. It's pretty good. I mean, he's straight up talks about like just cheating on your wife. Like just fuck it. Just go cheat on your wife and be overt about it. Like, all right, well, we can talk about that. We can talk about that. Guys, do like, subscribe, hit those notifications if you haven't done so already. I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you guys for sounding off in the live chat. I appreciate you. Thanks for the super chats. That helps support the show probably more than anything else. Follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Get on the email list and get the ebook, She's Made You Weak. And then check out all my books. If you go to books.comeonmanpod.com, you can get all 3 of my books there. That will redirect you to my Amazon authors page. And you can get all these books on Audible, Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. Psychology Paradigm and Get Her to Fuck You Again. I actually narrated that myself, right? Thor did the narration for everything. I wish I knew when I was 18, because at that time I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, but actually like narrating my books now. It's not that hard of a process. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just do it. I'll just do it from now on. Get in Beer Club, beer.comeonmanpod.com. And then guys, if you need one-on-one help with your relationship, you want to turn your marriage around, you want to get your wife to enthusiastically want to fuck you again, book a free call with me by going to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com. That's all we got. We will see you guys tomorrow on Rule Zero.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.